Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir, as you have said.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello
Dear
everyone.
sir.
We are in live.
We are live, doctors. Thank you.
Okay, President sir, shall we start?
Yes, doctor, we are live.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes. So, Namaskar, good afternoon to all the dignitaries, and we are very proud to have the presence of our National President, Dr. Basavaraj sir, President-elect, Dr. Vasant Kalatkar sir, immediate past President, Dr. Upendra Kinzavdekar sir, all the Honorable Vice President of the Indian Academy of Pediatrics, all the office bearers, all the executive board members, all the members of the scientific committee, the media committee, as well as the chief patrons and the chief guests for today we are going to be listening to them share their knowledge about the entire program. Welcome also to Dr. Yogesh Parekh sir, our Honorary Secretary General, Dr. Atanu Badra, our Honorary Treasurer, as well as Chief Guest Dr. Elizabeth, as well as Dr. Jain Shah, Dr. Jai Singh sir, and all the respected dignitaries from Indian Academy of Pediatrics. Who doesn't like to hear compliments? So all of us like to get compliments, and I'm sure we are happy about it. But more than the CLIMENT compliment, what is more important in life is a PLEMENTARY compliment, because we always need somebody to add up to whatever we can do. Because unless people compliment our strength by helping us get better, we cannot do much in life. And similarly, the same case with the newborn child. After the child is born, we all advocate for breastfeeding, but a few months down the line, just the breastfeeding is not enough to fulfill the needs of the child to develop and grow further. And we need to bring in complementary feeding. And Indian Academy of Pediatrics has taken a pivotal role in the last 10 to 12 years by working on this. And it is the president's decision to invoke this complementary feeding under the IAP Ki Baat Community Ke Saath program, which he has envisioned along with the executive board and the office bearers. And I request President Sir Dr. Basavaraja, National President, to tell us about IAP Ki Baat Community Ke Saath and the importance of complementary feeding. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samir ji. So, respected our chief guest of the today, none other than who has been a Dian in the field of nutrition, breastfeeding, and not only the national and internationally respected, and the who has been a role model to many of us. That is none other than Professor Iycf, Madam. Welcome you, Dr. Iycf, Madam. With our President-elect, Dr. Vasant Kalatkar, our immediate past President, Dr. Upendra ji. He himself is very passionate about nutrition. And our Professor S. Srinivasan sir, who has been a very instrumental in taking the nutrition to the across the globe, not only in India, across the globe, is students and followers there across the world. Thank you, Professor Srinivasan sir. With our Vice President, Dr. Professor Satish Sharma ji, Singaru Velu, Santanodev, Ajay Srivastav ji, Atul Kulkarni ji, and our Joint Secretary, Dr. Ruchira Gupta, Dr. Parmanand Anandkar. And the most importantly, this is a program which has been well backed up by our dynamic secretary, Professor Yogesh Parekh, along with our national treasurer, who has been very passionate about the community work, along with our IAP Ke Baat Community Ke Saath core team, Dr. Atanu Badra ji, and our national coordinators of this IAP Ke Baat Community Ke Saath, Dr. Samir Dalwai, Dr. Kishore Baindur, our scientific national coordinator, Dr. Geeta Patil, Dr. Shantraj, and Dr. Amresh Patil, who has been very instrumental in coordinating all the, so far we have been conducted the program of IAP Ke Baat Community Ke Saath, which has been set in a benchmark not only in India, across the globe, where the people has been recognizing the IAP. Even common people started recognizing Indian Academy of Pediatrics. All the credit goes to our core team of our IAP Ke Baat Community Ke Saath. Thank you very much. And the coming to the today's thing, which has been a very, very instrumental. This is the complementary feeding is not a something new. This has been propagated by Indian Academy of Pediatrics along with our IAP subspecialty chapter, Jain Shah, who has been a chairperson of our IAP subspecialty Iycf, and the dynamic secretary, Dr. Jai Singh, all of them are carrying out the work done by Professor Elizabeth Madam, Dr. Bana Purmak, Satish Tiwari, and many of the Paridhi sir, and many of the stalwarts who has been really did a great job in breastfeeding and complementary feeding. I think in the year 2020, that's the time Professor Elizabeth Madam, there was a conference in a virtual conference in Kerala, national conference of the thing. Madam was requested one thing, can we introduce a complementary feeding day in Indian Academy of Pediatrics? Immediately with our two president, Dr. Bakul Parikh as well as Dr. Piyush Gupta ji, immediately I said, Madam, it is going to be there on 6th of June. So we are going to. So on the most auspicious day, we are launching an IAP ke baad, community ke saath, complementary feeding is a very, very important thing. Exclusive breastfeeding from the 6 months onwards, complementary feeding, that can play in a bigger role at the national level to improve the quality and survival of our children. Not only survive and thrive is a goal of our sustainable developmental goal, where we are looking behind the survival and thrive, and also intellectual points to be added. In this regard, under the guidance of Professor Banapur Matsar, Dr. Keshavalu, so this is a complementary feeding which has been created by Indian Academy of Pediatrics. It's going to be very, very useful for all the practicing pediatrician to share with the common member of an Indian, not only IAP members, to the public. That's what we are looking at in the public is the key. So subscribe, share. That's the mantra of our IAP ke baad, community ke saath. It could be through the not only the IAP WhatsApp, your common WhatsApp. That's where it is required. Most of the time you try to share with our common group. We need to share with the non-IAP groups. That's very important. Facebook is another thing. Instagram, Twitter, newspaper, and television media. This is where our IAP, all the IAP spokesperson who has been joined here, along with our office bearer, I am sure that whatever the wisdom of our Indian Academy of Pediatrics will be taken to the common people. That's the vision of our Indian Academy of Pediatrics. With these few words, best wishes for this launching. I'm seeing a lot of stalwarts who has been joined. Arthi Kinkar madam is also there, and Dr. Ketan Badwaji, and Nirmala Joshi ji, who has been doing a great job at all the, not only in the UP, across the world. Professor Ima Bindu madam, who herself is a very stalwart, who has been doing a great job. Madhu Mathur madam, and Gansham Chaudhary ji, and many of the stalwarts who has been joined this program, Satish Agarwal ji, and all. I am sure with Jalil Ahmad, our senior executive board member, who has been doing a great job at the national level, Sukanta Chatterjee, with their all effort, this, whatever our achieve, this one is their goal, it is going to be achieved with this. Best wishes for this program. Over to Samir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you always for a very dynamic and very forceful, passionate plea for something which I know personally is very close to your heart, that is complementary feeding. And also just like to acknowledge the presence of seniors. Dr. Professor Srinivasan sir has joined from United States at an hour which is not very convenient for him. But thank you, Honorable Mutt sir, and everybody else. And now it is the duty to carry ahead what the President sir just said. And we have prepared a press release which will be shared with all of you as well as with the press, and requesting all of you to share it with the local press in your local regions. And I request now Professor Basavaraj sir as well as our dear President-elect sir Dr. Kanatkar to jointly declare and ask for the release of the press release. Sir.
Pratik, can you share that?
Share.
Sir, 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, please spotlight Dr. Basavaraj and Dr. Kanatkar.
I declare this has been released. Over to our President-elect, Dr. Vasant Kalatkar.
Yeah, I request all of our members that, and all the editors and all Patrakar and all the, so please publish this press note to in your esteemed Delhi reporters, please, and our members to please disseminate. Thank you.
Yeah, President-elect sir, now we request you to please guide us to carry on with your words of wisdom. Professor Dr. Vasant Khalilkar sir.
Yeah, please stop sharing. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Respected our President, dynamic President, Dr. G.V. Basavaraja, who was out of session for last 4-5 days. He was in Nepal and still see the energy of him. He's still with the working hours. So he was fully busy in 4 days in Nepal. And today's guest, Dr. Elizabeth, Dr. Basavaraja already introduced about what to say. And respected all my EB, OB delegates, all reporters and media partners. Dear colleague, it's really honor to address you today and to discuss an essential aspect of our practice, that is a complementary feeding, which is extremely important as the next transition phase toward weaning. This bridges the gap between exclusive breastfeeding and diversified diet. It introduces essential nutrients not readily available in breast milk, promoting healthy growth and development. Properly introduced complementary feeding can strengthen the immune system, reduces the risk of chronic diseases later in life, and even contribute to cognitive development. You all know. As a pediatrician, we are privileged to guide families through the critical stages of their children's growth and development. The period from complementary feeding to weaning is pivotal in laying a strong foundation for lifelong health and nutritional habits, not only for individual children, but for our communities as well, because we know that today's children is tomorrow's nation. The expectations from young parents are high and they look to us for guidance. We need to educate parents on the critical aspect of complementary feeding, emphasize the importance of starting with smooth purees and gradually progressing to lumpier texture and finger foods. This approach helps to develop the child's chewing and swallowing skill, preparing them for a diverse diet. Encourage parents to introduce a variety of fruits, vegetables, and protein, fostering a balanced and nutrient diet from the outset. The first 1,000 days of child life are crucial, and we must be mindful of this period. Proper complementary feeding, timely vaccination, and weaning are key to enhancing a child's immunity and ensuring good health. The benefit extend beyond individual health. Healthy, well-nourished children are better prepared to succeed in school. This is not new. Contributing to a more educated and productive community is also important, which is the result of all this. When we reduce the prevalence of nutritional deficiencies, we lessen the burden on our healthcare system, allowing resources to be allocated more effectively. Safety remains paramount throughout this transition. We must educate parents about the risk of choking and importance of maintaining hygiene during food preparation and feeding. Supervising children while they eat and being vigilant about potential allergens are also a crucial aspect of the journey. So safety, allergy, and supervision is very important while giving the complementary role. Now, what is the role of IAP? As a pediatrician, we have the opportunity to make the profound impact on children's health by guiding family through these critical stages. By fostering healthy eating habits early on, we are not only improving the well-being of individual children, but also promoting the long-term health and prosperity of our community. So, IAP stand at the forefront of promoting healthy complementary feeding practices. So, we must continue to develop evidence-based guidelines, educate healthcare professionals so that they will not do any mass, empower parents and caregivers, that is through public awareness campaign and education resources accessible in various languages can empower patient parents to make informed choices about their children. So encouraging and stressing on local food will make transition easy and affordable. That is a very important point about the local food. And definitely as we are in advocacy, so advocate for healthy food environment. We must advocate for policies that promote the availability and affordability of nutrients food and counter misleading marketing. Let us continue provide compassionate evidence-based advice, ensuring that each child embarks on a healthy and nutritious path from complementary feeding to winning. I always say, together we can build healthier, stronger future for all. So my request is that whatsoever material, whatsoever scientific material you are getting from IAP, please disseminate all over India through print media, digital media, and your one-to-one contacts in your clinic also. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to the well-being of our young patient and our community. Thank you once again. Jai Hind, Jai Hai.
Thank you so much, respected President-elect Sir, Dr. Vasant Khalatkar. Now it is my pleasant duty to invite our immediate past president, somebody who has done great amount of work at the school level all across India, Dr. Upendra Kinzavdekar, to please address the gathering. Dr. Upendra.
Thank you so much, Samir. So, respected President of Indian Academy of Pediatrics, Dr. G.V. Basavaraj, President-elect, Dr. Vasant Khalatkar, all senior dignitaries present over here, the doyens in field of complementary feeding, breastfeeding, you name it, and they are all here. So, a warm welcome to all of you and greetings to Dr. Bana Purmat sir, Dr. Srinivasan sir, and of course, my mentor in Iycf, Dr. Elizabeth madam. Happy to see you here, madam. That you are the chief guest. It's a great honor to have you here, and all wonderful colleagues, Dr. Aarti Kanikar, Dr. Jayant, and everybody. It's a great feeling, and it's a proper, I think, when you talk about the 6th day of the 6th month of the year, one has to think of complementary feeding. And I'm very happy to know that and be one of the contributor for changing this IAP's, complementary feeding day celebration to this particular day. And all of us know it's just a symbolic representation, all of us know. But unfortunately, somehow or the other, we have all been doing great as far as breastfeeding is considered, all others in that. But when it comes to 6th month complementary feeding advice, I don't know what happens, and we are somehow not speaking in a great language to patients sitting in front of us. So time has come, friends, all of us need to speak in the same language and use this opportunity, because this is those who are into private practice, this is the time patient comes back to you after finishing the vaccines in the government sector. And if you are in private practice, those who are born there, they always continue to come to you. But 6th month visit is so important, not only for complementary feeding. Samir is here. We also know for neurodevelopmental point of view, you do not enjoy a child's interaction at 6th month, something is wrong. So both ways, it gives a great opportunity. I always say it may take only 6 minutes. So in the 6th month visit, and I had already, circulated a video talking about only fatwa as the key member, acronym, which will complete all the essential components of complementary feeding. That is frequency, the amount, the texture, the variety, and the hygiene. And A in between is active, or what we call as responsive feeding. This is the part I think we must emphasize more and more on that. Unless and until we'll tell parents that this is the way that you have to go about responsive feeding, the active feeding, let the child decide about the amount that he's going to eat or she is going to eat. It's not the parents are going to decide. Let it be a very happy affair for everybody involved. Let it be a great interaction, no coercive actions taken by parents. And I'm sure all of us would be successful. And if we are able to do that, we will be overcoming micronutrient deficiency to almost more 90%. I'm pretty certain about it. Otherwise, I'm very sorry to say, do you know that today in India, biscuits is the #1, namkeen is the #1 complementary feeding given across the country in spite of all of us working. From where does this biscuit come into our food? So we all need to introspect. We need to speak in a very loud manner anywhere, wherever we are given an opportunity. And I'm sure with this IP's great program, community ke saath, let it not remain in the corners or in our rooms, but let it actually go to the needy ones. And I'm sure if we are able to do that, the health scenario of our future generation would be different, and we'll be having greater impact on community health if we continue on our mission. Thank you so much, Dr. Basavaraj, for initiating this and for your kind invitation, and all of us together can always do on that. Thank you so much.
Together, all of us can really do wonders. Thank you, Dr. Upendra Kinsavdekar. And to take the story forward, we have none other than the Honorary Secretary General of Indian Academy of Pediatrics, Professor Dr. Yogesh Bhai Parikh, who will guide us how we can go ahead in this matter. Dr. Yogesh Bhai.
Thank you, dear Dr. Samir Bhai. So today is a great day. We are celebrating the complementary feeding awareness to our community, and our chief guest is Dr. Professor Elizabeth Madam. I welcome here our beloved President Dr. Basavaraj, Dr. Vasant Khalatkar, Dr. Upendra Kinwalkar, dear Dr. Atanu Badra, all the vice presidents, office bearers, EB members, and office bearers of the Iycf chapters, and all the 195 uh, Iycf champions on this digital platform. Why? What is the importance of the complementary feeding? We all are knowing, but we are not percolating the message properly because the time constraints in our OPDs. So why does this need? Because the nutritional gap in our India is a very much, and it is very essential for the growth and development. And we know all these aspects for the social and the emotional and the development for the child health, even though we are facing the challenging and some opportunity in the complementary feeding, like the quality and the quantity of the feeding. While we are giving advice to the parents, we are taking care of these all these things, then there is not a nutritional care, because our feeding practices are very much poor in the rural area specifically, and we need to educate caregivers about the responsive feeding, about the hygiene and appropriate feeding practice uh, is very much essential. So again, the accessibility and the diversity of the foods also the necessary, because some we have some habits of the staple diets in our home, and social media has a very much influence, because this digital platform can give both educated and mislead parents. And here our the role of as a pediatrician, we should educate via the social media, as our president mentioned about the use of the Twitter and the Facebook, WhatsApp, and all the media whatever we are using on the digitally. We have to encounter this mice and the misinformation which is prevalent in our society, and it is very much crucial to counter this information, because we are knowing the all the WhatsApp and all the social media having sometime misinformation, and it goes to our parents and they follow that advice. So we should engage the parents and caregivers and the influencer on the social media. We are the 45,000 pediatricians across the country, and we have so many groups on the WhatsApp. We have so many followers on the Facebooks, and now our WhatsApp channel is also more than 2,000 pediatricians joined. So all of our efforts, we can counter this all the myths and the misinformation which are prevalent on the social media. So let us build our nation with the well-being of the new generation in the future. So let us have make every meal count, and complementary feedings complements each other, and engage ourselves to counter all this social media myths and information, and have a healthy nation, healthy child. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, we need to go down to the absolutely grassroots, and utilizing the 45,000 members of Indian Academy of Pediatrics can itself make any message viral. So we need to do that, and Dr. Atanu Badra will take this story ahead about how we plan to use and the strength of each and every member to make these messages viral all across the country. Dr. Atanu Badra, our dear treasurer, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Samir. So if academics is the uh, brain or the mind of IAP, then probably this program, Community Ke Baad, is the heart of IAP. And today the heart is really beating strong. 230 members who have logged in here on this afternoon, working day afternoon. And I think it only proves that how important nutrition is, not only to pediatricians, but what we appreciate that this is also important to the country, to the children health of the
country. And probably it's one of the single most effective intervention that we can do, that we can probably do by teaching the parents of an effective complementary feeding, that we can influence their health. So I will appeal to all of you, whether you are in IAP, whether you are a part of a IAP, Iycf, or even if you spread the message to all the parents of of your children, the patients who walk into your OPDs, please talk to the parents. They might have come to you with fever, but please let us talk to them on about complementary feeding for this kid and probably for the next kid also. And that is, if we do it in a mission mode, all the material is ready. The expert committee has done a tremendous job of preparing this material for you. The PPT will be given, shared to all of you. Let us work with them and reach the community, and at least let us have a satisfaction that we are having some certain, we are bringing about certain changes in the society. Thank you, Samir.
Dr. Atanu will certainly bring about change in the society. All of us are very inspired to do all this. And now, in fact, the work that has been done, and Dr. Atanu said that 230 to 40 is the highest attendance we've had so far, and we've had success in the last 6 months. And we keep going back and showing what work has been done. Dr. Amresh Patil, my dear friend and EB member from Karnataka, collates all that. Amresh, may I request you to please play the film?
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank each and every IAPN for this wonderful work which has been done for fever. The whole month, last month was filled with fever, and IAP was held up with fever, election fever, dehydration fever. And I would like to wholeheartedly thank each and every IAPN from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from east to west, for taking this fever to the people of our wonderful country. I request once again, this is 6 months, 6th day of 24. So 24/7, this is our work. So let us all work together once again to make this complementary feeding successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Amresh. We'll all be working 24/7. No problem about that at all. And now it's my pleasure to invite somebody who I personally look up to like an icon. He is none other than Dr. C.R. Vanapurmata, and I heard him for the first on this topic a year back, and I still remember every word you said, sir. So for the benefit of others, our expert committee member, Dr. C.R. Vanapurmata, sir, to please give a message to all of us.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you all for arranging this wonderful program on complementary feeding. What IAP, Iycf chapter wants to transmit the message to mothers, caregivers, community, and people at large is something very, very, very important, and we need to focus our attention. I would like to just take only one example. Please listen to that example. What is the percentage of children who are breastfed in our country have at least 4 or more food groups and a minimum meal frequency of 3? You will be surprised to know that the figures are very, 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 very disappointing. It's hardly 10% in NFHS 4 and improved only to 11% in NFHS 5. This shows that what is the most important point for the nutrition and health of children is nutrition. And we are failing very, very miserably throughout the country. Bottle feeding has increased in the last between NFHS 4 and 5. And just now, as Dr. Was pointing out, that biscuits have pervaded into every house and every place, which should not be happening. Now, I would like to say that what are the major challenges that are facing our children? First of all, we have to remember that appetite of a child varies a lot. Say, hunger, feeding, all these will happen only when the child wants to have food. Most of the time, the mother wants to dominate the food intake of the child, saying that he will not put food into his mouth, he will throw it, he will spill it, he will start playing with it. But these are the things which should be happening. So what we need to allow is to allow spillage, allow the child to explore the food, play with the food, and then start taking by himself. As when we take a great interest in teaching the child to take the food by himself, which is called baby-led feeding, only then complementary feeding can become successful. A major challenge for our mothers, working force, they may not be with their child, but and the problem will be, it is caregiver has to take over the complementary feeding. Unless that person is very mindful and very committed, things will not happen. So what I would like to say is, our team of doctors, Dr. Keshavalu, Dr. Sudhir Mishra, Dr. Naglata, Dr. Arti Kinikar, and Dinesh Tomar, they have done an excellent job. In fact, I was just in the background. They have come out with an excellent PPT for the community, which addresses almost all the questions. It is comprehensive. But what I would like to say most important would be that the mother must develop a lot of patience and have time in giving complementary feeding to her child. It has to be freshly made food. So she has to be at home. You can't give food which is made in the morning and give to the baby. It has to be done within an hour or within a couple of hours. So all these things become important. The hand washing, keeping the food clean, hands clean, all these are extremely important points. And that is where complementary feeding becomes such a very major concern for our country, that unless we start doing a lot of work, bringing in community awareness of the mothers, caregivers, then our frontline workers, all these become extremely crucial, which will determine the growth of the child. And I would like to say that every parent, every mother must weigh her child every month and monitor the growth from birth up to 2 years minimum. Unless this is done, she will not know how the child is doing. This is something which is a very crucial point which needs to be emphasized. I really thank Dr. Keshavalu, Sudhir Mishra, Naglata, Arti Kinikar, and Dinesh Tomar. Under the supervision of Dr. Geeta Patil, they have done an excellent job. And I thank all of you for having given this opportunity for me to address today. Thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you and hear you, sir. And over to Dr. Geeta Patil, my friend. You are muted, Geeta Patil.
Okay. Am I heard? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
now you're
yes,
audible.
Geeta.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So, thank you very much, Banapurmat sir, the person who is known for his passion and his mission. If we imbibe some small percentage of that also, our complementary feeding awareness program will become totally successful. As sir already mentioned, the NFHS 5 tells the complementary feeding percentage at the age of 6 months in India is just 45.7%. This is the data Keshavlu sir has shared with us. And now we have heard from one Doyne. Now let us move on to the other person. On behalf of scientific committee, I am honored and privileged to introduce Dr. Iycf Madam. Her name is synonymous to the nutrition, whether it is on the national level or international level. And we know personally she is such a humble in spite of her achievement, and she is always helpful. If you ask for any references, just now Dr. Jalil sir told, if you give one message, you will get enough. And I myself have experienced what is Dr. Iycf Madam. But let me tell in short about her. She was a former professor and head of the Department of Pediatric and Superintendent of SAT Hospital, Government Medical College, Thiruvananthapuram. She is now serving as a professor and HOD Department of Pediatric, Sri Mukambika Institute of Medical Sciences, Kulasekaram, Kanyakumari, Tamil District. She was a state president of Kerala IAP in 2016 and 17. She was a national president nutrition chapter, which has taken to such a high level during her tenure in 2017 and 18. She was a state president Iycf chapter Kerala. She was a district president of Women IMA in 2017. So she has served in government, Kerala government, which is affiliated to Kerala University for 33 years. And 6.5 years now she is affiliated to Dr. MGR Medical University. Her experience is so vast, her passion is so much. I am very sure there will be hardly anyone who has not referred her book during post-graduation, later on in the practice or anywhere. And people are so much happy to listen to her because she makes the topic very simplified. So she has got many textbooks for her credit. She was a reviewer. She is a reviewer and author of many textbooks. She has contributed many chapters, many publications on national and international level. So this is very short CV of Dr. Iycf Madam. There are many things to be added, but let us listen to her. So I request Shruti to share the poster, and I request Iycf Madam to unveil it. The first poster of complementary feeding. And this time, complementary feeding posters are too good. And our content also, I want to tell, we have made it new acronyms. Keshavlu sir and Naglata and their whole team, they have created different acronyms. I think I sincerely request everyone should go through the scientific content, PPT and FAQs. They're extremely good. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Iycf Madam. Unmute, madam. Unmute, madam.
Madam, you have to unmute.
Unmute, madam.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta Patil, for the kind words. And I'm very happy to share that our beautiful and very rich poster is declared open for the community and for all the pediatricians. I really feel proud and honored to be with you all for this exciting event on Complementary Feeding Day. I express my sincere gratitude to esteemed CIAP President Dr. Basavaraja for his innovative visionary ideas and also actions. Honorable Secretary General Dr. Yogesh Parikh, incoming President Dr. Vasant Kalatkar, the past President Dr. Ubendra, Dr. Adanu, Dr. Geeta Patil, Dr. Sameer Dalwai, and the senior IAPNs here, starting with Srinivasan sir, Banapurama sir, Dr. Jayant Shah, and all 200 and more pediatricians here. At the outset, I want to recollect that in IAP calendar, Complementary Feeding Day was any day in November, which was already crowded. November month was already crowded with Newborn Week, Children's Week, Children's Day, and whatnot. And as Dr. Basavaraja has said earlier that in 2020, the proposal for a complementary feeding day came. and the suggestion that 6th day of 6th month, which other day is most suitable for it, that is June 6th, to be complementary feeding day. And CIAP immediately agreed a few years back, but necessary correction was not made in the CIAP calendar. It was Dr. Ubendra, then and there, and during his tenure, we said the calendar says that any day in November is complementary feeding day. Immediately, he called the secretary and of IAP and the office staff, and they said we should correct it. And that is how it became the complementary feeding day. And now we are very much ahead of that. That is, we are marching forward and rolling it out to the community under the program of IAP ke baad community ke saath. Before BFHI era, complementary feeding was introduced at the 4th month, we know, after 4 months. And our legendary teachers used to give advice when they come for the 3rd dose of DPT. I have also witnessed that. But when we shifted the 4 months to 6 months, we failed to address this at 6 months. And they used to come back after 7 months, that is at 9 months for measles, after doing all faulty feeding, and the baby would have gone for malnutrition or overfeeding and obesity. I think we must own up the responsibility and the guilt of not calling them at 6 months. And as the previous speakers have already said, let us start scheduling a mandatory visit at 6 months of age, and let us also capitalize on the developmental readiness of the baby, as Dr. Banapuram sir was nicely explaining. And the Anna Prashna, that is a deep-rooted cultural practice in our country, that is rice-giving ceremony at around 6 months of age. Let us talk about 6 attributes of complementary feeding Dr. Ubendra was telling at 6 months for 6 minutes. That is fatwa. That is the frequency. Many people don't know that. That is 2 to 3 times in breastfed babies and at least 4 times in non-breastfed babies. And non-breastfed babies should get 2 milk feeds. Even we were not insisting on this or even aware of this till the Iycf indicators came. Then it should be, what is the amount? Roughly we know our stomach capacity is 30 ml per kg, but baby can tolerate only 20 ml. There should be space for air and digestive juice and all. So the amount can be 20 ml per kg. It can be translated as half to 3/4 cup. And the texture and taste. And if you put it in the mixer and give, it is the same taste every day. But we should go from pureed food to lumpier food to textured food and the finger food. And the variety. There are 8 food groups during the period 6 months to 23 months, and at least 5 food groups should be given to the baby. And the first and the foremost is continued breastfeeding till 2 years of age. That is to cover the first 1,000 days of life. Then it is the active and responsive feeding. It should not be an ignoring type of feeding or a non-indulging type. The baby is filling the food and not eating at all, or a force feeding. The mother has to listen to the babies and sing for the baby, talk to the baby, and look at the cues the baby is giving, and then feed the baby. And eating time should not be a battle time. That we have to insist on. It should not be in the front of the screen also. It should be a screen-free time for the baby. And of course, the last H is for hygiene, which we have to insist so much in our country, where most of the people are in the middle or in the low income group. And the NFHS data, which was shocking, also gave the data that from 9.4, it increased to 11.6 or something. That is the babies who are meeting minimum acceptable diet, minimum meal frequency, minimum dietary diversity, minimum acceptable diet. Some of the global Iycf indicators have to be met. So we have to look at all the indicators and teach. Let us talk about these indicators. And I would urge that our pediatricians should take up small QI projects so that we can create awareness and also do a demonstrable change in the selected indicators. I want to increase the minimum meal frequency or minimum dietary diversity and minimum acceptable diet from the current to 20% increase or 50% increase in the next 3 months. I think that we should be able to achieve and then document it. These are beautiful papers also for students who want to do research and publish. And complementary feeding, we should understand that is the weakest link in nutrition, and we have to have a social behavioral change communication in this field. And let us have a new motto, that is C for GDP. What is that? Complementary feeding for growth, development, and prosperity. Jai IAP, Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam, for your inspiring word. Definitely our pediatricians is going to be inspired and will do a lot of charity and awareness and community work. That will make a big change in the child's advocacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. May we request you to declare the release of the video?
The screen is coming. I am happy to declare this open.
This time we have gone in a very different way and made this more for the rural population, just to take the feedback from everybody.
Yeah, it looks wonderful.
देखो मुक्ता कैसे देख रही है। बच्ची की भूख बढ़ गई है, माँ के दूध से पेट नहीं भर रहा है। हमारे समय में बच्चा 4 महीने का होने के बाद तुरंत भुना हुआ चावल और दाल की खिमटी देते थे।
कमला दीदी ने कहा था कि मुक्ता 6 महीने की होने तक उसे सिर्फ माँ का ही दूध देना। 6 महीने होने के बाद बच्चे की हलचल और विकास होता है, इसलिए उसे स्तनपान के साथ ऊपरी खाना शुरू करना।
अच्छा, और क्या क्या बताया उन्होंने?
दीदी ने कहा फल और सब्जियां अच्छी तरह उबालकर या पकाकर उसकी गुठलियां ना हो ऐसा गुदा खिलाना, और हम मुक्ता को चावल, मूंग के दाल की खिचड़ी, रागी की खीर भी दे सकते हैं। उसके बाद मुक्ता को 2-3 चम्मच पानी पिलाना।
अच्छा हुआ बताया, हमारे समय ऐसी जानकारी नहीं थी। कमला दीदी ने और क्या बताया?
दिन में 2-3 बार 1 से 2 चम्मच खिलाना चाहिए। मुक्ता की भूख के अनुसार धीरे धीरे उसका प्रमाण बढ़ाना। हो सके तो तुम्हारा दूध पिलाने के 2 समय के अंतराल में उसे खाना खिलाओ।
मेरे समय मेरे दाई मुझे बताया था, बच्चे का खाना बनाते समय अपने हाथ साफ धोने चाहिए और सारा खाना पकाने के लिए उबला और छाना हुआ पानी इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए। मुझ अनपढ़ को इतना पक्का याद है।
अनपढ़? क्या माँ, आपको तो सब कुछ मालूम है।
अच्छा, और क्या क्या बताया उन्होंने?
बच्चे को गोदी में बिठाकर उसको खिलाना चाहिए। बच्चे को कभी भी जबरदस्ती खाना नहीं खिलाना चाहिए, और हाँ, वो ठीक से बढ़ रही है या नहीं ये जानने के लिए हमें आंगनवाड़ी में जाकर मुक्ता का हर महीने वजन और ऊंचाई नापनी चाहिए।
तो फिर अब मुक्ता 6 महीने की होने में अब भी समय है। ऊपरी खाने की बजाय अब उसे केवल आपका ही दूध पिलाओ, फिर सो जाएगी।
I think the emotional impact of things is far more than any other impact. And I think that was very well done by our media team and scientific team. Thank you to everybody. We just need to add some subtitles and dub it in the other languages. But the entire credit should go to the core leadership under Dr. Basar Raja, who has taken Dr. Vasant Kalatkar, Dr. Upendra, Dr. Yogesh, Parikh sir, Dr. Atan, and the entire, both the scientific committees, Geeta madam, Bendur sir, Shantaraj sir, Amresh, and all the other members, and Shruti, who have taken great effort. Now it's my pleasant duty to invite a special guest. Dr. Jain Shah is here, chairperson of the Infant and Young Feeding, Child Feeding chapter. Dr. Jain Shah, are you there? Can we request you for a few words?
Yes, thank you so much, Samir. Thank you, Dr. Basavraja, Dr. Khalatkar sir, Upendra sir, Elizabeth madam, Banapurmat sir, Srinivasan sir, and everybody. All here, all are the legends in the field of Iycf, and I am so certain that everybody is very sincere to take this knowledge to the beneficiary, that is the mother and the every family, even in the remote areas. I live and work in tribal district of Maharashtra called Nandurbar, and I see many tribals. And my experience is most of them are very good, growing very well in the first 6 months of life when they have exclusive breastfeeding. But after 6 months, or say after 5.5 months, the growth faltering starts. And that is all because of faulty complementary feeding. Either they don't give at all, or give very diluted foods, or give the same food repeatedly. So there is no diversity of food. And so that is why this is very important. Second point, I would like that everybody should emphasize, along with the complementary feeding, that breastfeeding should not be forgotten. That along with complementary feeding, breastfeeding must be continued up to 2 years and beyond. This point is many times forgotten when we counsel the parents or the mothers. And just like there are many other subjects or the branches, and those are all very glamorous, and our Iycf is not very glamorous, so not many new pediatricians or students are very keen to take up this subject. But we all know that in any disease, the first treatment, when we write the treatment number 1, 2, 3, 4, I think the first treatment one should be about the nutrition, and from second it might be the whatever it is, either it is antibiotic or whatever. So number 1 should always be the nutrition, and third number should be the other specific treatments. And as Iycf chapter, we have been doing this for many years, and this year also we have come out with a poster, and now we have the central IAP poster. So we will be taking forward this thing. And Samir, I am very happy that we will be either dubbing it in local languages, or I was thinking of making similar videos in Gujarati and Marathi in my place. And I am sure that everybody will be doing that. And I'm extremely happy that this IAP ki baat community ke saath has taken up complementary feeding as the topic today. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. I've always had the benefit of working with you to see all your patients whom you keep referring and working with. Thank you so much. We now request dear Dr. Jay Shah, Secretary of the chapter, to please a couple of minutes, please. Please, we can directly begin with your kind words. Dr. Jay Singh, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Samir bhai.
Can you spotlight Dr. Jay, please?
Yeah. Hello.
Bhai Sahab, go ahead. Bhai Sahab, go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks a lot to our President, Dr. Basavraja, President-elect, Dr. Kalatkar, ex-President, Dr. Kenjavekar, sir, Secretary Yogesh bhai, and Treasurer Atanu bhai, and all the IAPians who are involved here, who are here today for the very novel cause, that is child nutrition. So today, this is the 6th day of 6th month when our infant has grown 6 months, and it is time for the infant to step into a phase of transition. The transition from purely a liquid diet to a semi-solid diet, semi-solid to the solid diet. The infant is going to make a transition, and it should be a very smooth transition. So this phase is least understood and most ignored phase of an infant's life. And because of this ignorance, the child is moving into the dip of malnutrition. And if we look at the data of NFHS 5, as previous speakers and Madam Elizabeth has already told, that 45.9% of the children are the only children who are receiving complementary feed at 6 to 8 months. Means more than 54% they are not receiving complementary feed at the right time. And this is a big gap in the complementary feeds. Only 11.3% of the children between 6 to 11 or 6 to 23 months of age, they are receiving adequate amount of feed. Means more than 88% of children, they are not receiving adequate feed, which is again a major drawback in the complementary feed. Other factors has already been covered. So I humbly request and urge everyone involved in the child nutrition to create awareness among parents as well as the healthcare workers, healthcare workers using IAP ki baat community ke saath as a resource material, so that a uniform message goes across the nation. Thank you. Thank you. Long live IAP, long live Iycf. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we request our Senior Vice President, Dr. Satish Sharma, sir, to please address all of us. And may I very humble and gentle request to everybody, we can directly begin with respected dignitaries rather than taking everybody's name in the interest of time. Satish, sir, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Samir Bhai. Our Honorable Chief Guest for today, Dr. Iycf Madam, our beloved President, Dr. Basavaraja, our President, Dr. Vasant Khalatkar 2025, and Dr. Upender, Dr. Tanuji, Dynamic Secretary, Dr. Yogesh Parak, and IVCF President, Dr. Jain Shah, Secretary, Dr. Jai Singh, Dr. Geeta Madam, Dr. Kishore, and all my Vice President, other colleagues, and EB member. We have listened to all our stalwart about the benefit of the breastfeeding and complementary feeding, how to do it. We have enough literature, slides, PPT, videos, and all these things. And for last 2020, this program is going on, but still we are lacking to the end. We still have complementary feeding only 45%. I think this is the first time that we take the opportunity that IFCF chapter along with the IAP ke baad community ke saath. Who are going to do this? We. If where there is way, there is will. Where there is will, there is way. If we want to do it, we can do it. We can take this opportunity that this momentum will be raised and high. And I think at least 200% and more than 200 present here today, we take the pledge and that we motivate all our other colleagues to spend some time and to promote complementary feeding. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Respected Dr. Singaravelu, sir, Vice President South Zone, again requesting all members, folded hands, please just directly begin with your words. You can say respected dignitaries for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samirji. Thank you, Samirji. It is a very great day that my best friend, Madam Elizabeth, is here, who has done extraordinary work. I know we each other, we did a lot of good things. And I am really happy that our visionary president, Basavaraja, has inculcated this program with Iycf, because we have been doing, today also in my institution, we did about this complementary day. Because for the past 3 years we are doing, but when it is combined with our IAP South Community Bath, definitely it is going to be a big hit, because our stalwarts were talking and my beloved teacher Srinivasan is here, and our case is doing extraordinary work in this with all this IOC chapter. But it is the need of the hour where, as rightly Jaisha was telling, where breastfeeding, in spite of our promotion, it has not increased so much. But coming to complementary, where drastic reduction, where malnutrition we started seeing a lot in all forms. So definitely this awareness program by these posters and others definitely will increase by all active participation of all our 45,000 members towards to the community. Definitely, I think a short time, as Madam was telling, definitely we can take even a research project, IQI project, but to see how far we have reached the community after introducing this to our members and how far it has translated in the form of improvement in the children. Definitely with this vision, our future leader, Dr. Vashant, and all that in future years, definitely this complementary feeding percentage will increase and it will help to reduce the malnutrition in grand way. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Over to dear Dr. Ajay Srivastav, sir, Vice President, Central Zone. Ajay bhai. Dr.
Yeah.
Ajay bhai.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, bhai.
Yeah, thank you. In accordance with the guideline issued by our dear Dr. Samir Dalwai, I extend my warm wishes and gratitude to all respected dignitaries without naming anyone present here. So, see, now is the time when we should change our gears, in top mode, with some more push on, say, accelerator to reach the wider community. And I am very excited and hopeful to see the great number of attendees of our spokesperson. It is more than 200. And definitely our spokespersons are, say, cornerstone of this project. And we have enormous work we have to do, we know. But we can do that with our sheer dedication and just completing it with two lines, like always. लाइक सफर में धूप तो होगी, जो चल सको तो चलो. सफर में धूप तो होगी, जो चल सको तो चलो. सभी है भीड़ में, तुम भी निकल सको तो चलो. और किसी के वास्ते राहें कहाँ बदलती हैं, किसी के वास्ते राहें कहाँ बदलती हैं. तुम अपने आप को खुद ही बदल सको तो चलो. तुम अपने आप को खुद ही बदल सको तो चलो.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. हम बदलेंगे तो बच्चों की दुनिया जरूर और अच्छी हो जाएगी. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Atul Kulkarni, our president from Vice President from West Zone. Atul sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Samir. Respected all the dignitaries on the virtual platform. Today's guest of honor, Diane of Pediatrics in the field of nutrition, Elizabeth Madam. Today, IAP की बात community साथ is launching a very important topic of complementary nutrition, and which is always ignored or ignored in as pediatricians also. And this is very important topic, which is I have gone through the PPT, which is prepared by the expert committee, and they have prepared this topic wonderfully. So I congratulate this our expert committee for preparing this topic and giving the good proper guidelines for the complementary feed, and also heartiest congratulations for wonderful video which has been prepared. So we are definitely going to make all this viral on the social media. My one suggestion is that every pediatrician gives our patients record file. In that there is immunization, and second page is on the usually on the complementary feeds. So this is a good whether I have to prepare one single page PDF or 2-page PDF. They can give a printout or they can print on their file this all the information which is wonderfully given by the our expert team. And I wish all the best for this program. Thank you very much.
That's an excellent suggestion, dear Atul sir, and we will definitely look into that. We now like to invite Dr. Santanu Dev, our Vice President from the East Zone, for his words of wisdom.
Thank you, Dr. Samir. Thank you, Dr. Samir, and my regards to all the dignitaries present on the virtual platform, and my special regards to Dr. Elizabeth Madam. We have all been actually nurtured in nutrition through her books. So I congratulate the IAP Ki Baat community ke saath team who put the focus back on complementary feeding, because we have heard from everybody how the problem persists, and probably we are not able to tackle the problem as much as well as we should have been able to do it by now. So the time for action has come. All 45,000 members should speak in the same language, make our posts relevant to our patients, so that the problem of complementary feeding, the gap that exists in complementary feeding, that is removed. And by that method only, we would all be able to achieve C4 GDP. I like that tagline, very nice, which is very nice. C for GDP, that is very good. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving an opportunity, and I pledge my commitment for myself and from our zone also, so that we can do the maximum in spreading awareness about complementary feeding. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shantanu. And now it's
Samir, you have been muted.
Okay, thank you so much.
Samir, you
Dr.
muted.
Shantanu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Santanu. And now it's my duty to invite our dear senior Dr. Kishore Bendur sir, who is chairing the monitoring committee as well as a most important member of the scientific committee. He will offer the vote of thanks and then he will close the session. Kishore sir, Dr. Kishore sir, over to you.
Namaskars to everybody. Good afternoon, and we are at the end of this very, very exhilarating program. I would say it so because, as somebody put it, we have had a record attendance today, and I was saying that at one time there were 238, people who have attended this program. Just to say that the importance of the program, and probably because we had a distinguished guest like Professor Elizabeth at the head of this thing. So, Madam, your presence made so many people attend this program, and this was the first time that we crossed 200 people in a session of the IAP Ki Baat community ke saath. So, on behalf of the coordinating committee of the IAP Ki Baat community ke saath, it's my proud privilege to give this particular vote of thanks for this today's program. And it is indeed a pleasure and an honor to have you all with us as we come together to celebrate Complementary Feeding Day. And what a nice day that is today. It is the 6th of June. It is, if you count the year also, 24 adds up to 6. So there are 3 6s here, in this thing today. And it was a very auspicious day for us to present this matter to the community. And I take this opportunity to thank our National President, Dr. G.V. Basavaraja, under whose guidance and, thoughtful thoughts that this sort of a program should come up. And probably we are almost into the 7th, subject already. And this program has caught on quite well, particularly after our spokespersons have come into the picture, and spread of this message has been percolated into the whole of the community. As we reflect on the significance of this moment, I am filled with profound sense of gratitude. Firstly, I would like to express our deepest appreciation to the stalwarts of the IAP, Dr. G.V. Basavaraja, our National President, our incoming President, Dr. San Kalatkar, who gave us nice tidbits on complementary feeding, Dr. Upendra Kinjwadika, our immediate past President, who gave us a fatwa on the complementary feeding. We had our Secretary, Dr. Yogesh Parikh, as to how IAP Ki Baat can be spread more vehemently in the community. Dr. Atanu with his short, crisp talk on complementary feeding, and our senior vice president from the 5 zones, Dr. Satish Sharma from the North Zone, Dr. Singaru Velu from the South, Dr. Shantanu Dev from the East, Ajay Srivastav from the Central Zone, and Dr. Atul Kulkarni from the West Zone. I also take the names of Joint Secretaries, Dr. Parmanand and Dr. Ruchira Gupta, for their presence. Our executive board members of 2024 hailing from all the states of India, the spokespersons whom I told we thank immensely for spreading this message of IAP Ki Baat community ke saath to all the things. My special thanks to Professor Elizabeth. All of us have been immensely benefited by your knowledge being shared through your books and other media in this, field of nutrition. Today you spoke so much about gave us tidbits about how complementary feeding should go on. what is the statistics. And I think I would suggest Professor Basavaraj and this team of 2024 to take one point of Madam, which she vehemently put. See, now we have 11 visits up to 36 months in the government sector. And Madam has said that there should be a mandatory visit at 6 months. I think this has to be taken up with the government of India, and one visit at 6 months, though there is no vaccination at present at this month, this point should be vehemently put up, and so that we talk about, the complementary feeding at this particular time and assess growth and development. So this point, Madam, we have put it up so well. The other point that you probably made was our own philosophy and our culture that we have about the Annaprashan. It was such a wonderful program, which is carried out in a lot of Indian families, but of late with modernization, westernization as we call, it has gone into oblivion, and we need to probably bring this up as a cultural practice so that complementary feeding can be more vehemently told to the community. You are told about the fatwa again. Thank you, Madam, for your presence in this thing and for your wonderful discourse on complementary feeding. I also take this opportunity to thank the chairperson of the scientific community, the committee of this, complementary feeding, Dr. C.R. Banapurmat, who gave us very nice insights into the statistics of how it is not improving and what else can we do to talk about complementary feeding in the community. The other people in the scientific community, committee, that is Dr. Keshavalu, Dr. Nagalata, Dr. Sudhir Mishra, Dr. Aarti Kinikar, and Dr. Dinesh Tomar. We are thankful to you for the wonderful, wonderful way you have brought about the complementary feeding scientific material in such simple terms. And thanks once again from the IAP Ki Baat Community Ke Saath community to you as an expert committee, to our own expert committee, which oversees all of these, headed by Dr. Geeta Patil, Dr. Piyali Bhattacharya, Dr. Prasant Karia, Dr. Gayatri, Dr. Cherukurian, Dr. Manmit, and Dr. Mubashir, all of them for the help that you give us every time in making the scientific committee or the scientific content so very relevant to the community. My sincere thanks also to Dr. Jayan Shah, Chairperson Iycf, and Dr. Jai Singh, Secretary Iycf, for your timely inputs on complementary feeding. Also, I would take this opportunity to thank all the attendees and who attended this program in such a large number, and also the technical team which gave us the inputs, have made the media committee, etc., who have made such wonderful video presentations, etc., on this particular thing, the complementary feeding. Of course, none of this would be possible without the participation and enthusiasm of each and every one of you, our valued attendees. As I said, it stood at around 238 at its maximum. Your presence here today filled us with joy and gratitude, and we are delighted to share this special occasion with you. In closing, I would like to express our deepest thanks to all who have contributed to the success of this event. Your support and presence have made today really a memorable one, and for that we are immensely grateful. Thank you once again, and may this gathering be just the beginning of many more such joyful occasions for the IAP Ki Baat Community Ke Saath. Thank you, and for those whose names I have not taken, Samir had told me, a lot of you not to take the names, but yes, in a vote of thanks, I couldn't, stop taking names. My sincere thanks to all whom I have taken names, and also probably whom I have missed out. A big thank you to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Samir, for this opportunity. And I should thank you for the excellent way that you conduct these meetings every time. I do not know, it's more better than also a professional conducting such things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Elizabeth Madam. Thank you, Jain Shah. Thank you, Jai Singh sir. Thank
Sir,
you.
Baswaraj sir, that point on the 6th month.
No, that point is noted, sir. That point
we should
is noted.
pursue that thing. It's a very, very important point Madam has given. And
surely, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you
very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Baswaraj. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
oh, thank you, Madam. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Hello,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
madam.
Thank you, Geeta.
Thank you.
Thank you.